Hey guys, haven't seen you guys in a week.
It's been a while. Actually, no, we do actually have to tell people that we are recording this on Sunday. Because by the time this goes live, the Star Wars trailer is live.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Star Wars trailer is going live.
The one which
Tuesday
we are
morning
not
here.
going to watch and have tried to not see like
I'm not watching it. I'm telling you right now. I
Ryan
saw a still
Johnson-
image.
Ryan Johnson did say, like, if you're excited for episode 8, avoid all the marketing.
He did.
Yeah.
He himself said avoid it.
Also, with that all said,
So I'm probably gonna
hi,
watch it.
and welcome to the CineBeards. I'm not Jason, but I'm opening this episode for some reason.
Shut up, Marcus.
Yeah. Thank you, Marcus, for opening this episode for me.
Yeah.
Good
What
job.
a gentleman. What a gentleman.
What a gentleman. With me, as
Just
always,
step on
is
him.
our lovely host, Jason Musicanth.
Hello.
And sitting across from me is the ever-impressionable Dion van Heerden.
Hello.
And I am some guy with a beard, I guess.
You're Marcus. You're Marcus Knafe. Remember, Marcus.
I remember!
Remember who you are.
Fuck off.
Rosebud.
Alright.
Let's get this going.
Okay. So we're going to be looking at some news from the past week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a little late to the party on this one, but we're going to start the episode off with it. The DCEU
Yeah.
is no longer just going to be one shared extended universe. There are going to be a whole bunch of standalone films in that as well, and I could not be happier.
That's fantastic. You know why that makes me really happy?
Because that means there are a whole bunch of movies that Zack Snyder has no say over.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how I feel about the whole thing, because didn't Jeff Johns also say, like, oh no, you can't call it the continuity ones, the DCEU anymore?
Did he?
Yes.
Why?
Why not?
Because apparently, like, it was outlets and media houses and websites that started coining it as the DCEU or Extended Universe.
What?
And it was never decided upon by WB that that's what it was going to be called. In
What?
fact, they've got memos circulating about how don't call it the DCEU
Oh, wow.
at
Oh, wow.
WB.
Boy,
Like,
oh
did
boy,
you guys
did
not
their-
read about
They,
that?
they really enforced that well.
their PR machine is really a well-oiled machine.
Look, what? I guess I'm fine with a bunch of standalone DC movies because, like, until it went a bit off the rails, the animation side of things did that really well.
They did.
The issue that I have with it is with the animation ones, you can always have sort of different people drawing it, different people voicing it, you know, sort of different voice artists, and it's still essentially the same character. Once you start
Yes.
having them played by human beings, it starts becoming confusing for a broader audience. So and
I understand what you mean.
and it feels like, okay, if you're going to go introduce something like the Lantern Corps or whatever, right? Are you going to do that in a once-off film, introduce all of them, make a, like, and cram all of that into 2 hours and then not come back to it? You know, it just feels like Marvel's been so successful with it. Sure, DC's obviously had a really rocky start. Rocky is an understatement, but that kind of thing works so well where you become invested in the character and they're portrayed by a single actor.
Yeah.
And I think it becomes really difficult for the general public, who these films will ultimately have to appeal to, to make their billions.
Well, by the looks of it, they're going to keep the same actors because the standalone Batman movie, The Batman, is going to have...
Yeah, but I mean, they're already
Oh,
going to
no,
have
but the
two.
Joker thing's
They're
gonna
already
be
having
two
two
Jokers,
Jokers,
yeah.
which is just a...
Right, so they're
But
going to have
also-
one
but also
Batman
now-
with two
but, like-
Jokers.
Yeah, but that's what I was wondering. Is it going to be the same Batman playing across both Jokers?
No, there's the two Joker movies. There's the Joker and Harley Quinn
Oh, and Suicide Squad.
crazy love story thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if it features a Batman, is likely going to be Ben Affleck's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Margot Robbie.
Yes, it's Margot Robbie. But see, this is how it's so fucking confusing. Then with the Joker prequel, or the Joker origin story, I have not read that there is going to be any representation of Batman at all. I think they're taking it...
They're probably gonna end with a Batman silhouette.
No, you know what they're
But the
going
thing
to
is, how
end
can...
with?
Well, no, they won't end with the Batman silhouette, but they might bring it in for the, like, inception of the character. Because you
With
kind
the
of need
horns.
to with Joker.
Yeah,
yeah,
honestly,
that
like,
just-
it's difficult to know how to feel about this because if you told me tomorrow there's a whole bunch of standalone Marvel films coming, like, cool, fair enough. You know, like whatever, like hit me with whatever you've got. You've
I mean,
earned enough
that's
goodwill.
basically how phase 1 was.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be excited because I feel like the continuity thing's working out so well for them. But with DC, everything's already a mess. I don't want more of a mess. Focus on fixing your mess.
Which is
Look,
why
look,
they
well,
renamed the Flash movie to Flashpoint.
They should have either fixed their mess or pulled out of it completely. This kind of half pulling out thing is just going to make an even bigger mess.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, a good example, the Batman, the standalone, the Matt Reeves directed Batman. Is
Now
that
Matt
part...
Reeves written and directed.
Yeah, written and directed. Is that part of the continuity? Mm-hmm. Like, as in, like, Man of Steel to Suicide Squad to Justice League, blah, blah, blah? Or is it a pure standalone now?
And I know canon isn't as important to your mainstream film audience, but eventually people are going to start getting confused.
Yeah.
It-
People
it's gonna
are
be
going to
weird.
get confused. Like, as soon as they have a trailer for the Joker origin movie, and people see that it's not Jared Leto playing this Joker, they're going to be confused because
they're
they've
too
already linked Jared Leto
there were
to
so
that
many.
character.
There were already so many. Just I've seen online, you know, just hundreds and hundreds of complaints from parents taking their kids to go watch Deadpool because it had the Marvel sticker on it.
Yes.
You know, mainstream audiences, they're not keeping up with the behind the scenes stuff.
No.
And you have to take them into consideration. You've already establishing like, hey, all these things are linking into each other.
Yeah.
And then you start breaking that. You're like, oh, well, no, this is... People already... Mainstream audiences are already confused with Star Wars. I mean, I've had to explain to how many people already that this is the Skywalker saga. They're the numbered episodes. These are the standalone films. Which, you know, these things aren't necessarily communicated clearly.
Yeah.
And that's a fairly organized way of doing it.
Yes, where it's literally Star Wars Episode X subtitle.
Yeah.
And the other ones are title A Star Wars story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the biggest draw, even on the poster, isn't Star Wars. It's like on the
film.
Rogue One. Rogue One.
A Star
A
Wars.
Star Wars story.
Yeah. Like, look, I'm excited to have some of those standalone movies coming out. I really am. I think they could be good on their own. I just think it's like you said, it's just gonna make a mess of things.
What also worries me is...
Well, DC has a history of making a mess of their continuity.
Yeah, I don't even...
Swish.
I don't
But then
even-
again, so does Marvel.
Yeah, no, everyone does, but you have to. You've been given this opportunity to establish an relatively ordered cinematic universe, and my problem as well is, if you're going to be doing sort of once-off standalone films,
Yeah.
right? If you're going to be doing it for, say, a new property, right? Then the
Like
best way,
Shazam, for example.
Yeah,
Which
then-
is currently in pre-production.
then the best way to do that would be as an origin story.
Yes.
Obviously, because you have to introduce a new audience. Most of your audience doesn't know who Shazam is.
Yeah.
As much as we are sort of familiar with a lot of these characters, most people, the majority watching it, are not.
Yes, but we're massive nerds, Dion.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing is, so it has to be an origin story. If it's an origin story, the only way an origin story really pays off is if you then take that origin you've created and then make another film.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what are you building that foundation for?
No.
So those will have continuity, say Shazam 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So if you're building in that continuity, and then say Superman has to make an appearance, and you're going to use Henry Cavill, then why are you doing the standalone films? Why
Yeah.
not just do the legwork and figure out how your universe fits together, make a 15-year plan, and just do that thing?
What, you
The-
mean
the
like
weirdest
Kevin
thing
Feige has on his wall at Marvel HQ?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
The weirdest thing is, allegedly, what led to this kind of DCE not being the EU anymore was the Wonder Woman movie, which was ostensibly part of the DCEU
And a good movie.
and a good movie.
Oh,
and
that is a problem.
And I don't
Yeah.
know how they saw that, and they're like, okay, that was great. Let's dissolve this whole extended universe thing.
I think if I was being kind, I'd say it's because they saw, oh wait, this is what our films have the potential to be, and we're really off to a bad start. So hey, how about we just do standalone ones, get proper directors in, proper writers. I don't know, and that just makes me feel like they have very little faith in their extended universe. What they've done already.
Yeah.
I can't see the advantage.
Like,
Well, to
I
be fair,
can't-
if you had made that, would you have faith in it?
No, not in the least. But they have to pretend to.
Yes.
They either have to ditch it entirely. I mean, as you said, half pulling out makes more of a mess.
Yeah.
Well, they've already, I think, contractualized their... Contractualized? That's not a real word.
No.
But they've contracted their stars and stuff into praising the movies and to praising the other characters.
Yeah.
Like, they had the dude playing Cyborg go on and on about how Cavill's Superman is the best of all the Supermen.
Yo, that's some
But
real.
he's not even a daily.
That's some
Right?
real fuck off
Like, it's
money.
not even daily.
He's not even a daily.
Or a Newman.
Or a Newman. But you've got to at least
Newburn,
be a daily
sorry.
to be
Newburn.
like considered.
Wow, yo, that's some real money
Yeah.
that they're throwing around there.
Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, can I just hop this in here? So I think this is the most tone deaf thing that Zack Snyder has ever possibly said.
Yeah.
I read this today. In his mind, Cyborg is giving representation to disabled persons and people living with disabilities in a superhero movie. That is a real thing that I read today on a reputable movie news site.
Ooh.
I don't see...
He's...
I don't even know what to do with that, but I just had to bring it up.
I don't know what to do with that. It feels like I've been punched in the stomach.
Well, but it's like, check your phone, you'll see it.
No, all I see is the poster for Batman Ninja.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Here, I'll show you on my cellular telephone. I'll actually read... Yeah, Zack Snyder wanted Cyborg to give representation to people with disabilities is the headline. And if I may, I'll read his quote.
All right. Because you're not making fun of someone if you're just quoting them.
No. He said... oh no, this was Ray Fisher saying... So I don't want to attribute the quote to someone that didn't say it. So Ray Fisher himself said, I've had lots of fans who come out and say, listen, I can relate to Cyborg because I lost a limb. Or, I have this cochlear implant. It's one of those things when you actually start seeing it, when you actually start hearing about it, that made Cyborg more relevant to me than I think he ever had been up to until that point. That just sounds like PR speak for, yes, I understand and I agree with you,
Yes.
because you may or may not be an important demographic. It's just another point, man. Like, the DC movie universe studio setup is kind of a mess. And, like, as much as I love Jeff Johns with his history in the comic books, he has done a lot for DC on that side, like cleaning up. I just think they're not... Now, this is obviously just a theory, but I think, like, WB are pulling too many strings for him to just throw everything out and start fresh.
There are too many voices weighing in. There's too much at stake.
Yeah.
There's also, ultimately, again, we vote with our wallets, and I mean, we're as guilty of anyone as anyone of this. I mean, people still got to watch the films. The films do well.
Yeah.
Have any of them been a box office disaster?
No, and it's
So
with a
there's
great deal of shame that I say we will be there opening day for
Justice League. We will. Just out of... If
Oh, I'll come with you for that one. My wife does not want to see Justice
it's
League.
the same it's that same impulse that makes people slow down when there's an accident on the road.
Yeah.
You know, when you're passing by and there's ambulances, you know, you're not the kind of person that wants to see a dead body, but you're going to sort of slow down and look at that accident scene.
Yeah.
And it's that really bad impulse, and we're going to be there.
The one where immediately afterwards you feel, why did I do that?
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
god, I shouldn't have done that. But you'll do the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah, like that time you went to go watch Batman v Superman, and I believe your first text to me was like, I think I should kill myself,
Yeah,
or
and-
something like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was something very somber.
it was. And then we went and inflicted that on poor Base.
Ugh, our poor friend Base. We got him drunk first, though, so it was alright.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
You gave him
it's
2
basically.
whole beers.
I think this whole dropping the EU or claiming that the EU was never part of it in the first place thing, that sort of backpedaling, it worries me. I like the idea of standalone films, but the standalone films that work in the animated world work because of all the work that's been done before.
Yes.
You can have far more characters, you can have different people drawing, you can have different people voicing, and the character there will be continuity, even if there's not continuity in the overall story. I don't know if you can do that on a $200 million big blockbuster film once every 2 years kind of schedule.
It just seems like a really bad decision on their part.
Then again, what's the alternative?
Alternative is fixing the DCEU that they currently have. Superman in their universe is dead. Bring him back as actually Superman, not some kind of sad mopey man.
I've seen a lot of people theorizing that is actually what they're going to be doing. That, the Superman that's going to come back from the dead is going to be Superman.
I don't believe that for a second. No. Because Zack Snyder wrote Justice League, and Joss Whedon says he's doing Snyder's Justice League.
I don't believe it, but I want to believe it.
You know what?
It would have made sense. That alone would have gone a long way towards winning some of my goodwill back.
Yeah, but look, it would have been a lot easier to believe. Like, I want to believe it too. It would have been a lot easier to believe if the Batmobile that we saw for Justice League
didn't have more
had fewer guns on it, but instead it had even more guns than Batman
bigger
v Superman.
Guns.
And
maybe
bigger
they shoot
guns.
hugs.
No, they don't shoot. It looks okay, we're gonna get to that trailer.
Oh dear, that trailer. Actually, let's get to that
while,
trailer.
While we're on the DCEU here, let's get stuck into that trailer.
Because that trailer is actually, honestly, that trailer to me is just a microcosm for the disaster that is the DCEU,
right?
The Warner Brothers DC universe in general. Every film has had, every trailer has had a different tone, and it's not that each one has had a coherent tone within itself. Each one just switches tones constantly. It doesn't know what it wants to be.
And they're overly long.
They're very long. They're showing
trailers.
a ton of what looks like very unfinished CG in places.
Oh god, Cyborg CG. He looks like he's from the 90s.
There's that one shot where they're flying or something.
Yeah, and he holds Aquaman,
and
it's just
and
like,
it looks like it's out of a 90s. It looks like it just looks really bad.
Look, it would not have been hard to just use practical effects for that.
Just give him prosthesis.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like,
and augment the
they
prosthesis.
They can use CG. They just need to make it tasteful. Because remember, a lot of Iron Man in the MCU since 2008 has been a CG suit.
Yeah.
But there are places where, like, in Civil War, there's
when he's walking around, he's actually in a physical suit.
He's in a physical suit, but they do the
lot of
helmet
the
coming
action.
on in CG, and you can very clearly see the difference in the two.
You very clearly see the shots where he's in the suit and where it's his face.
Yeah.
You can see the divide, but again, they're using a human face.
Yes.
It's not a CG face. That CG face is bugging the hell out of me. And honestly, there's nothing about that suit that says this could not have been achieved with prosthesis augmented by CG.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's literally nothing there.
You would think, if anything, they learned that from the Green Lantern movie.
Yeah.
No, but they're putting. Why is everything red? Why is 50%
because it's danger
of the trailer so?
Because Apocalypse is coming
red.
to Earth, and Apocalypse is all red, and the atmosphere is red, so maybe there's a whole thing with that. But still, I feel like it's too much.
It's too much.
Over the top. What's bugging me is it's that sort of more is more thing, layering on. I mean, I'm the last person to complain about it in general, but if you look at something like the ending to Wonder Woman, which was arguably its big shortcoming, was that sort of the final boss fight. This looks like the mentality behind that boss fight stretched out to the length of a film. If you look at all of this, because what happens with the boss fight, okay, suddenly all human beings disappear in the background.
Yeah.
It's only these characters, maybe one or two others running around when they're necessary. But generally it's empty sets, CG sets, red skies, and it's just throwing things at each other.
Yeah.
And it just feels like that. It just feels like a whole bunch of the realization of a child sort of smashing his toys together.
Yeah.
And building bigger and bigger Lego monsters and then throwing them at their other toys.
Like, I never thought I would say, like, this superhero movie looks like it has too much CG.
Yeah.
But I think from the trailer of Justice League, it feels like that movie has way too much CG.
Yeah.
Yeah, while we were watching it, I paused it to tell Dion like a few things I was taking away from it, and before I could say anything, he's like, "It's just all CG.
It's
So much green screen."
I have absolutely nothing against. That's the thing is, very important to sort of give this caveat. I've got nothing against CG. I love it. It enhances things, like we spoke about in our Blade Runner review.
Yes.
You can use it to enhance things. You can make things look wonderful. But if you're just putting actors in front of a green screen, and then you're just making these huge empty sets behind them, and they don't ever feel integrated into the world, the performances feel wooden, everything just feels disjointed.
Yes.
Like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Rather have a smaller scale thing, even if you just build part of a practical set, so the actors can feel more grounded and can play off each other.
Like they did for Deadpool.
Yeah.
On the shoestring budget that they had. Because a lot of that, like, collapse and that was CG, but they had a little practical set where they actually worked.
And that's the funny thing. I watched Deadpool again the other day. A, holds up fantastically well the year on. B, that thing has probably, like a seventh or an eighth of the budget of something like Justice League.
Yeah.
And it looks so much better.
I mean, Colossus is all CG, and he looks better than Cyborg.
Yeah, he looks absolutely fantastic.
Because they made a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
With him, with Cyborg, it just feels like, and I know there are people out there going to say we're wrong, but no, there's no design to him.
Yeah.
It just looks like literally like cobbled together polygons with a red sort of stripe down his chest.
It looks like something a 13-year-old draws at the back of his workbook in class when he's bored.
Like, have these people not seen Cyborg in the comics? I mean, like, there are looks where he's like literally looks like the Terminator. And how is this polygonal mess superior to someone that looks like a Terminator?
And again, you don't have to do anything from the comics. You don't have to take cues from any of those designs. You just have to do something good.
Yeah.
You just have to do something that looks awesome. So that you can look at that and go, that's badass.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're looking at it going,
Yeah.
CG, ouch.
I'm going to start this thing. I'm going to call it the Shithead of the Decade Award.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to give it to the guy who decided, yes, we're going to use David Bowie's Heroes in this latest Justice League trailer.
That was a disaster.
Because, and I like to watch my language, but fuck that guy. Like, really. Like, the wrongest
It makes zero
choice.
sense to use that.
No, it's got the word heroes in the title. That is
Oh,
as far.
I'm sorry.
That
I'm
is
sorry.
as far as they thought.
Yes.
That is the end of story. It's like in Suicide Squad, where they use certain songs just because the lyrics like where Harley Quinn uses a baseball bat, and then it's like the lyrics are like "batter up" or something.
Yeah.
You know, batter up, and where the tone doesn't match, the theme doesn't match, nothing matches, but
It's got that word in it.
it's got that word in
Yeah.
it. So heroes, like, oh, okay, cool, we want this.
Yeah, they basically Googled song with the word heroes in it and just chose one of them.
Yeah,
They chose
and
the
then-
top hit.
They
which
chose the
was-
top hit and then...
Which was David Bowie's Heroes.
And then
which
they said
is,
to whoever sort of they've got on call for music and said, just like make a trailer ready version of this.
I think just below that was Enrique Iglesias's I Can Be Your Hero, Baby.
Yo, that was close. It was a close call.
Like, if they used that, I would have praised them for doing something so against type.
Yeah, imagine that track, but like super but just really
Just
epic,
like
epic
just-
orchestration,
Should be-
Inception Hall. It's
No, but I imagine it like the exact opposite way, like a little acoustic guitar and the soft woman saying, "I can be your hero."
Oh, and like make it all like melancholy.
Yeah, yeah.
And these sort of poignant shots of the heroes. That would have been a way better fucking trailer.
Guys, I think we can fix the DCEU.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Join us soon for how CineBeards fixes the DCEU. And it all
God.
starts with Enrique Iglesias.
It's perfect. So we have to do that hero thing. That would be amazing.
And they say the hero will save us.
Yeah, why did they
Nickelback,
just use...
because it's officially the Spider-Man song.
No. But they could have used Three Doors Down Kryptonite. That would have been just as appropriate.
Well, you still call me Superman.
And if I'm dead in the ground and covered in dust.
You know what was most depressing about that trailer, to get back on track? with the Justice League trailer was that opening shot, of Superman in the field,
Yeah,
where
it started off so
immediately-
well and focused.
but where we instantly called it
Yeah.
Dream.
Yeah, because
Either
the color
Dream or
grading.
Flashback. And then when we saw the ring, when he mentioned the ring, like, okay, cool, Dream. And exactly as you say, it started focused. Predictable, but focused. And then it's just mishmash.
CG shit show.
Just all the VFX, as Oral Not say, just all the VFX shots that are ready.
All the
just
well, and if they aren't done
Well,
yet, whatever
most
the
you-
most ready.
if the cuts are quick enough, no one's gonna notice. They're just wondering where they heard the
Like,
song
I saw a
before.
half-complete Steppenwolf in there.
And you could just see the token stuff, like putting Wonder Woman in. I mean, if you're gonna make Wonder Woman the focus, like they did in the last trailer, which I think is a good move, but then fucking commit to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Commit to it. Don't do like, oh, people liked Wonder Woman, so let's throw in a couple of shots of her being sort of heroic leader and her smiling and just focus.
Yeah.
And
If even for this trailer, if they hadn't focused on any of the heroes
Wait.
and they'd just done the whole trailer from Lois Lane's perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been fine. Like the somber, like, what has the world come to? The world is ending type trailer, and then just then just have Batman voiceover, like near the end of the trailers, like, when this world is falling, we have to stand to save it. One hero shot of the Justice League, trailer over, perfect.
Then
trailer.
then I explode.
Yeah.
That would even get. I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
That would get me excited. But this is just. All right, cool, guys.
Not even, like,
so
in color,
it's gonna
just
start off
silhouette.
like this, and it's gonna be there, and then Zack Snyder just ran into the room. And he went,
And what if, and then he's like, phew, and then, oh my god,
and
guys,
he's got this
guys.
army of guys, like stenographers around him, like desperately taking notes. like he's just dictating these
What's that?
ideas, and they just pass it off to the VFX department,
I just
the
have
editing
a
bay.
question. I just have a quick question. Refresh my memory. What's Justice League's release date? Isn't it like less than a
November.
month away?
It's less than a month. November 17th.
17th. I thought it was the 7th. But still, that's like,
That's around the corner.
that's pretty
They're
close.
still making it. I would just like to point out one more time that episode 8's post-production finished almost 3 months before the film comes
Get
out.
it, Dion, you masturbate to Star Wars at night.
No, I masturbate to Star Wars soundtracks at night.
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
Yeah. He's got really good headphones, but he doesn't have a big enough 4K screen.
Shit. Yeah.
So
Well-
this movie is coming out in, what's that, about 5 to 6 weeks from
Yeah.
the time we're recording this.
It
And that CG still doesn't look done. Like,
I'll tell you exactly how many weeks using this crazy app called Calendar.
oh
wow.
no.
I haven't downloaded
Like, it
that
gives
one.
you dates.
I thought it was
and,
calendar.
Calendar. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was a
Calendar.
portmanteau of two different words.
Yeah. I always thought it was a fantasy game because it sounded very fancy, like calendar.
Yeah.
The Kingdom of Calendar.
Okay. Oh wow, it's got numbers and everything and
What?
days. Is that
Yeah.
sort of fictionalized or is that based on real world?
No, it's based on real world days, and you'll see, crazy enough, the amount of days per month in this matches up to the number of days in a month in like the real world,
Oh my god.
and they correlate.
Jeez,
What?
dude. Is that on Android? You got that?
Yeah, it's on. It's on
Oh,
Android. I
I'm
don't know
gonna-
if there's an iPhone app that's similar to it, because it's third party.
Okay, I'm gonna download the shit out. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
And this is still clearly in post.
Yeah, this is very, very clearly they're still busy with it.
Well,
Well, at least it looks that way.
Yeah, it looks, we can't confirm it, but it looks like they're still in.
And yet, the worst thing is, as we said, we're gonna be there opening night. We are part of this problem. But I just cannot look away from the slow motion train wreck.
shit.
Okay, so I think we've moaned enough about WB for one episode. What's next?
WB
Well,
can
what's next?
eat a bag of dicks.
Eat a bag of dicks. I'll tell you what's next. The DC animated movies.
Hooray!
Oh, that box set,
Well, no, not the box set.
which does look great, and I want it.
Yes, I want it so
Can
bad.
you tell me about it?
It's a box set that they've created for Blu-ray discs of
Yeah?
all 30 of the animated features
So
released in
far.
the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that sounds fantastic.
Like, I want
It
that.
is, and it's in your backlog, so you should probably pick it up, Dion.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was going to bring up is that at New York Comic Con, they announced one of the upcoming animated movies, which is Batman Ninja. Now, while it sounds quite silly, Batman being thrown back in time to feudal Japan and stuff like that, it's being written by the guy who does JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is a fairly good anime. And it's being
So I've heard.
And it's being animated. Let me just get the guy's name here. It's being animated by Takashi Okazaki, the guy who did Afro Samurai.
Okay. Which animation studio is he working with? Does
I
it
doubt
say?
he
Because
himself is it.
No, he's
Yeah.
working with WB Animation. They're the ones that put out all of these.
yeah, but which physical animation studio?
That I don't have.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like anything where you're taking a character like that and slapping them in a different time period, I'm generally game for.
Yeah, because it's at least interesting.
Because
like
if
what
you
they're gonna
keep-
do now with Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you sort of you're staying true to the essence of the character, and you're just like, how would this character have manifested in a different time period? That's always interesting.
Yes.
That's more exciting actually than any other sort of DC related news I've heard in a while.
But I'm super keen for it. I was a big
Yeah.
fan of the art style of Afro Samurai. I've watched a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and that's a lot of fun. So
I've heard good things about it. It's like
they're actually getting
like-
Japanese people to write a story about Batman in Japan.
Yeah, that's
cool.
great.
Which is cool.
I
Like
mean,
I've
I watched
heard good
a lot
things.
of Afro Samurai, and I haven't watched. What's the other one?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That I haven't seen. But Afro Samurai I did enjoy.
You can watch it on Crunchyroll.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Yeah, sorry, Marcus, you were saying?
Well, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying, yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is in my sort of on that list of anime I should probably have seen by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are a couple of those that keep coming, like that and One Punch Man I haven't seen any of, and people keep raving about that as well.
That is really good. Even I mean, I'm not an anime guy at all.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I only really make time for one anime these days because it's my guilty pleasure, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
I know exactly what it is, Marcus, because I know you. But I won't reveal your secret to the world.
You are a good person.
I'm sorry, but Pokemon fanfic does not count as an anime.
No, it
Counts
counts
as
as the
several.
anime.
Yeah, so that's
But yeah,
at
and
least
speaking
good
of my
news in
guilty
the
pleasure-
DC
yeah,
kind of.
they had some really good episodes this week.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but that's good news in the kind of
yeah.
DC vein where we can speak nicely about Warner Brothers.
Yeah, no, that's
See,
great.
look,
That's,
They're releasing a fantastic box set that I covet,
Yeah,
and it's actually coming in. I actually saw the retail price. It's coming in at for the whole set. It was through Amazon $300 US,
that's really good.
which is like $10. No, yeah,
Yeah, it's $10 a
$10
film.
$10
a
a
film.
film, which is it's about what you pay now.
Yeah.
for
if you-
Blu-ray, yeah.
For a Blu-ray, it's been out for a while here.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
$10 is what you buy for is what you pay for the digital version.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all of them, they're about $10, and they do drop in price. But this is getting all 30
Yeah.
on Blu-ray discs. Oh, and tons of bonus material as well.
Yeah, you get all the showcase things.
Or you get all the showcase things. You get a ton of behind-the-scenes stuff. You get like what you expect from a big Blu-ray box set.
Yeah, it's one I'm probably gonna end up getting for myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your birthday is coming up.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We should get it for ourselves.
Yeah.
For Jason's birthday.
Make Jason come and watch.
Happy birthday! What did you get me?
I got you the opportunity to see me having this.
For your birthday, you can look at my collection. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So,
So let's get to news.
well, that was kind of news. But to stick with the whole animated thing, something that I know all three of us are going to be very excited about, and that is in 2020 we're getting a Bob's Burgers movie.
Yes. Yes. There is a god.
Yes.
Yes. No, Bob's Burgers is just
I am
fantastic.
silently excited.
Bob's Burgers is just unique. What else is there on TV like Bob's Burgers?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
There's absolutely nothing like it.
Yeah. Everything else has got this kind of like dysfunctional family relationship.
Yeah, and
Right.
they're sort of everyone sort of everything's got its sort of its thing. You know, you've got your whatever BoJack Horseman. You know,
Yeah.
sort of midlife crisis, existential dread. You've got The Simpsons, which used to be the biting satire,
Yeah.
and now sort of this sort of zany, wacky, toothless family thing. You've got Rick and Morty with your sci-fi tropes. You got all these shows, and there's just really nothing else. I mean, Family Guy, the less said, the better at this point.
Yeah.
That's just about people quietly going about their lives, basically being happy with their quiet little lives. It's constantly fresh, great voice cast, constantly well written. It's one of these.
And yeah, the one thing that really strikes me about about Bob's Burgers specifically is they actually show the characters having like loves and passions that they're not good at.
Yeah.
They are
Yes.
not perfect human beings. Like Gene is a terrible musician.
But he loves it so much.
But he
has
loves it so
fun.
much, and like they're just letting him be because it makes him happy.
And the show just feels like the people making it love it.
Yes.
Yes.
And I mean, just that new the premiere for season 8, the first episode where they had
I haven't seen
where
it,
they
no
had something
spoilers.
like, I'm not sure how many, but something like 40 different
I read
fan
about
art.
that. Yes.
Oh
yeah, I saw
you
that.
Fan art
need
episode.
to watch that. It
I
is
need
so,
to
it's not
catch
only
up.
a superb episode of Bob's Burgers, but almost feels even more Bob's Burgers than a regular Bob's Burgers episode, just because
Because it's just the fan
it's
people
got
who
this
love it.
community feeling. I've got the recipe book, the
Oh.
Bob's
Yeah.
Burgers burger recipe book, which is just wonderfully done as well. There's just so much love in there, and I think it's just a miracle that something like that exists on Fox
Yes.
Yeah.
and has not been cancelled
But Fox,
or ruined.
like Fox, are having like a really good time with TV. I mean, look at two shows that they are succeeding with. Legion, which was critically acclaimed when it aired earlier this year, and their new X-Men based series, The Gifted, is also getting rave reviews.
Yeah.
Like Fox is nailing it with TV in general these days.
That's great.
Especially their spin-off or their second channel FX and those networks.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave us shows like Sons of Anarchy, which you really should watch if you haven't already.
No, I
It's
well,
basically
I
Biker
watched,
Hamlet.
I
It's
watched the
Biker
one that
Hamlet.
had the Stephen King cameo.
Yeah.
Where he
Because-
plays, where his character's called Richard Bachman,
Yeah.
which was Stephen King's pseudonym in the 80s,
Yes. One
which
of
is
his
just fantastic.
pseudonyms.
It's
That
like,
is pretty
ah.
fantastic.
So that was immediately like, okay, cool, you are now near the top of my to-watch list.
Yes.
It's really good.
No, like they have been
It's,
killing it with
Much
TV.
like Dark Tower, it slips a little bit in the middle
Yeah?
and then goes right up to being good again.
Oh, yeah, Sons of Anarchy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it dips at around season 3, but then like in the midpoint. But it gets so low that it can only go up from there, and then they tragedy that shit, and then it just
Skyrockets and ends on a high of note.
You say FX, is that a Fox subsidiary?
Yes.
Yes.
That Archer was on.
Yes.
Yes.
And now Archer's on
FXX.
and that's
Yeah.
also Fox subsidiary.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, okay, well then color me impressed, because obviously I still have that whole Whedon era Fox in mind when I think about Fox Television.
Yeah.
And just the way they mistreat. I mean, Bob's Burgers went through some trouble
It did.
in terms of
It did.
scheduling, and it would be preempted by sports events, and it was sort of unevenly broadcast and lost a lot of viewers.
Which
But
is kind of unfitting with the show.
it is,
Yeah.
but I think what's fitting is the fact that it endured.
Yes, that is very, very fitting.
And yeah,
And I just love that show so much.
it's just such a feel good, totally unique show.
Yeah.
The thing is, we already have a solid release date for it. It's not just like, sometime in 2020.
Yeah.
July 17th, 2020. That's the release date.
Oh, you can mark that on your calendar.
Oh, my
Yes.
calendar. Wow. That's quick
Do
thinking.
you need DLC to expand it to sort of subsequent years? or-
There is DLC, but you don't really need it.
Okay.
Does it have loot boxes though?
No, luckily it doesn't have loot.
Oh,
Oh
okay,
no,
so
no,
it's-
you get one every 4 years. Get a bonus day. But you can earn that through grinding.
Yeah, you can earn it through grinding. You don't need to pay for it to get that secret special, like the proper year.
Yeah.
You can grind to get the proper year.
Yeah.
Well, we spun off into TV land with the Bob's Burgers movie. What else is there to talk about?
Bob's Burgers movie.
Yeah.
Excited. Color me very excited.
Well, yeah, if only they timed it better, so that it could have come after the 6th season.
Oh well, not just that. If only
Yeah,
6 seasons and a movie
it is up against some stiff competition though.
in 2020.
Yeah, it's coming out. Look, the weeks leading up to it, Minions 2,
Yeah,
Indiana Jones 5,
yeah.
and the week after it is Green Lantern Corps.
Okay, people's wallets are gonna be drained.
But that's the thing
Yeah.
is because Minions 2, okay, sure, that's aimed at kids, but still there are a lot of kids who would have been taken by their parents to watch the Bob's Burgers film.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Well, here,
Because it's the animated
Green
film. that's on
Green
it.
Lantern Corps. I mean, you know, we're a crossover audience there.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Indiana Jones 5.
Indiana Jones 5. I mean, that's sort of. I think that's basically all three of those films are competing with Bob's Burgers, sort of, because Bob's Burgers appeals to a wide sort of variety.
Well, they have said that
people.
they're gonna make the movie more accessible to a casual audience, people who haven't seen.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of what the content is, just in
Yeah.
terms of marketing, it's going to be really hard for it to do well, I think.
Oh, definitely.
It's not gonna make Simpsons movie money.
Yeah. Then again, nothing really can.
But also, don't think it needs to.
No, it doesn't.
No, it probably doesn't need to. I want that movie to be on IMAX because I want to hear H. John Benjamin's voice over IMAX.
I don't think your genitals will survive it.
I don't think anything will survive it.
Nah.
Next thing on my list here, Final Fantasy. I've just got FF here. It's Fast and the Furious, but I read it's Final Fantasy. So the next thing on my list here is the Fast and the Furious has been delayed from 2019 to 2020. But the interesting part is the reason. And that's that there's going to be a spin-off focused on The Rock's character. And I think Jason Statham's
Yeah,
character
there was a
as,
lot
like,
of
a
talk
partner.
about that. Apparently, that was a
Has
lot of
that-
No, the best
Has
that's
that
been
been-
confirmed.
has it-
2019 release. But the best thing about that is
How
there's a
bitchy
very
Tyrese Gibson is about it.
A, how bitchy he is,
and Vin Diesel.
and B, that they very well might have Shane Black as a director.
Okay.
And who does buddy things better than Shane
Jeez,
Um,
dude, The
like,
Rock
I
and
am-
Jason
ooh,
Statham with Shane
Shane
Black
Black
as director.
directing.
And
It's a
in that,
dream
in
come
that
true.
completely crazy, like, no rules universe.
Yes.
That is.
I can't wait to see how they handle Christmas.
Oh god, that's
It's
very
gonna
accurate.
that's gonna be amazing. That's got me excited. And I bet Vin Diesel's real pissed off.
I don't-
I think he might be. I haven't really looked
Oh,
at
that
it.
was most the whole thing in post production where
He and The Rock.
where they were talking about like him and The Rock bumping heads, and there was sort of all these rumors about the spin-off, and he was sort of upset about that. And this just seems to confirm that.
Yeah.
It might be,
guess.
but my favorite thing is, and I know this is getting a little bit gossipy, but how bitchy Tyrese Gibson is about this whole mess.
He 100% blames The Rock.
Yeah, he 100% blames The Rock for delaying the Fast and the Furious movie and being like, "You're such an asshole, Dwayne." Like, Fast and the Furious is about family and me getting a big paycheck, but mostly about family.
I think he needs the money.
And you're delaying my paycheck.
Probably.
But family. I mean, these guys are making like millions of dollars per movie, all of these
Yeah.
actors. Like, really, he can't budget and
In fairness, right? If I were to play devil's advocate here,
yeah.
right?
I can see your horns growing right now.
Yeah, it could very well just be a preemptive strike, because we have seen people cannot distinguish between like actors and content creators, and then also studios and other machinations that are going on. For instance, I just on such a tiny scale when Harmon Quest was delayed because CISO went bust and they sold it off to other media, and obviously there's a ton of legal stuff
Oh, and
that has
then
to go on.
it moved to Verve, right? Harmon Quest season 2.
So, I mean, that is completely out of someone like Dan Harmon's hands.
Yeah.
That's out of Spencer's hands.
Yeah.
But, geez, like, watching them get accosted and them get, like, lambasted by the fan base, for something like that, like, on such a small, what is essentially like a niche little culture.
And they had finished their recording in December of last year
Yeah,
already.
their work is done. It's
Yeah.
like people telling Justin Roiland when he's on Twitter or whatever, like, oh, stop messing about and finish the show. It's like, his job's done.
He's done his part.
They're drawing it. As Dan
Yeah,
Harmon said.
they really record.
So I can also imagine I know there's obviously other reasons, but it also makes sense that you'd want to come out swinging on the side of the fans who might be abusive and upset and stuff, and say, "Oh, Dwayne, why are you delaying this movie?" Because everyone involved in that, there's just going to be a toxic part of that fan base. It's just going to be attacking.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the thing is, nobody can be angry at Dwayne Johnson.
no, obviously.
He is the nicest human in the
except
world.
Tyrese.
No,
Well, yeah, but
people
like-
can be angry with him. They just will never admit it.
Yeah, because he's a mountain of meat.
Yes.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah. So I'd also honestly with the way fan bases are, I would also just come out like, oh, I'm so mad with these people for doing this thing, right, guys? Please don't hurt me.
Especially if you're like the character that can easily be cut out of the franchise.
Yeah, he is the easiest to cut.
Like,
in that
unfortunately, like let's be real here. Like, it's easier to lose Tyrese than it is to lose Ludacris in a Fast movie.
team. Yeah.
And Ludacris is barely in them.
All right. So what's next?
With his career doing so well, Dave Bautista has been given by STX a project to write, produce, develop, and star in that is just essentially an action comedy franchise.
That's pretty awesome.
And
That is pretty awesome.
I really, really like that because he's been putting in so much effort and he's
Yeah.
really been working
I mean,
hard.
you kind of feel like when you watch Guardians of the Galaxy the first time, like, all right, cool, he nailed this, he pulled it off, but this is probably just,
It's a fluke.
Yeah, it's
it
a
has
fluke.
to be
It's
a
like
fluke.
it's just playing to whatever his strengths happen to be.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story. And then you watch Blade Runner and you're like, oh wait, no, this guy's an actor.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
actually an actor, and
Yeah.
he's really good. So I mean, that just makes me really happy.
it makes me extremely happy.
And he's just someone who just seems to really love what he's doing and just
Yeah.
seems super enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, like I've been in his corner ever since I heard from when he got the Guardians of the Galaxy role that he just filled his week's schedule with acting classes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, right, I finally made it. I'm not going to screw it up. I'm going to do everything I can to
Yeah.
be as good as at this as I possibly can be. And he did it.
I wonder, like, if he's got so much creative control over this project, right? To write, produce,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. Obviously, he is going to bring in writers to
Well,
help him.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
knows
yeah.
what his
Okay,
strengths and weaknesses are.
So, who do we want to write a Bautista-led action comedy?
If he's got a buddy,
If has he got a buddy? Has he got a buddy?
He can be his own buddy.
oh my god, 2 Batistas.
oh, that would be so good.
That would be amazing. And then we get 2 Shane Blacks to direct it.
No, but honestly, get Edgar Wright to write and
Yeah.
direct it, and
I
will.
mean, that's the answer to almost
Yeah,
any
that,
film.
that's the answer. Like most of the time, if you ask me who do you want to write,
Who
and
do you want to
direct,
do
my
the
answer would be
Dunkirk sequel? Oh, Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
Obviously.
You saw how music played a part in the first one. yeah,
Yeah,
but, without a doubt, my answer would be
for
Edgar
sure.
Wright.
Imagine that.
And you?
Damn.
No, oof.
What would be your choice? I'm guessing Villeneuve.
You know, as much as I would love to see Villeneuve do an action comedy, because I mean, he's done thrillers, he's done basically a horror movie with Prisoners,
He's done sci-fi.
he's done like highbrow sci-fi, he's done far-fetched sci-fi. I want to see him do a sci-fi action comedy,
I guess.
but no, it would probably be someone like Edgar Wright, like someone who's like a real hand at crafting action comedies, like your Shane Blacks or your Edgar Wrights, or no, Jon Favreau.
Yes, that is that is a good
Actually,
one.
Actually,
Actually, I
that's
want
solid.
John
That
Favreau.
is a good one,
I want
actually.
Jon Favreau to work with him on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I got Edgar Wright. He's got Jon Favreau.
You're such assholes.
Who do you choose, Dion?
um,
In your ideal world.
Shane Black.
yeah, I could say that. Another name I would add in to the mix, if only for the best work he's done. He phones it in sometimes, but for the best work he's done would be someone like Adam McKay. I mean, I'm not claiming to be like an Adam McKay sort of
Adam
encyclopedia.
McCaniac.
Oh
Oh.
my god, I hate you so much. That was excellent.
Okay. That's
Okay.
the podcast, guys.
We
I'm
retired.
calling it.
So it's dead. But anyway, I think he would be cool. But yeah, like Favreau, like of all the names you mentioned, that was the one that just immediately felt like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was on something with Edgar Wright. But
Yeah.
that, like Favreau.
I mean, Edgar Wright is more like a like a fantasy, like when you're a child and you're like, I want to eat 100 pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Favreau is like, yeah, that just feels right.
Yeah.
That's just good. That's like a new parent getting a full 8 hours of sleep.
So let's put this out into the internet. If Jon Favreau becomes attached as a writer and or director for Dave Bautista's action comedy franchise, we fucking called it.
No, not we called it. You can thank us. We put that idea out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like The Secret.
Yes.
We were just sitting here
Secreting.
in the studio secreting, and it got onto Jon Favreau, and now he's working with Dave Bautista. You're welcome. And now a
Speaking-
beautiful baby is born.
Yeah, no, so I'm just super excited.
Yeah, that's great.
That-
He can do whatever he wants. Like, I just surround him with good people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Let him have fun. He's earned it.
But yeah, I think that's all the tasty news for this week. Yeah, looking over it here. I mean, there's some things like Blumhouse wants to reboot the Paranormal Activity movies.
How do you reboot the Paranormal Activity movie?
I don't know, Dion. I don't make these headlines
No,
up. I
why
just
didn't
read
you
them to
warn? Like, trigger warning. Why didn't you?
Oh, you want a trigger warning?
I've
got a doozy of a headline for you here.
Because I watched Ghost Dimension. I told you. I watched it, and you know I went through that.
I'm sorry, Dion. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Oh,
I mean,
my
I did know,
goodness.
but I didn't know.
Was Ghost Dimension sort of trying to be a reboot of some
No,
kind?
no. The thing is, Paranormal Activity 1, I really enjoy, especially with the original ending. Not the cinema ending, the original ending. I like it as a self-contained thing. It's really cool. It hits certain buttons for me. It creeps me out. It's great. And then what they started doing was they started adding the occult stuff in. I don't know how many of them you've watched.
I think I've seen, I don't know which ones, but I've seen at least 3 of them.
Was there one at the end where there's like, they're running and then there's like these weird looking girls, like sort of
Yes,
there's like
wasn't that the end of the 3rd one?
Yeah, and it basically.
think I watched the
and,
third
and
one.
they decided that stuff with the mark and shit, and there's a coven and witches and a curse and firstborns, that kind of shit. They're like, that's what we're gonna lean into, not the unsettling like this is what's happening in your home while you're asleep stuff. Like they're leaning into that stuff.
So
So,
instead
heavily.
so what you're telling me
Heavily.
is they went in the wrong. They committed to the wrong direction.
Yes, Zack Snyder was involved.
Okay, so then why don't they just reboot it?
No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna start doing stand-up. that aren't part of the. No, number 5 started off promisingly, the marked ones. It was just a different context. It sort of took place in a tenement, sort of a Latino community. It started off really interestingly and like properly creepy, and then just went full bore with the quote lore unquote, and stuff. And then 6, the Ghost Dimension, is honestly just one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Wait, that's also what's been ruining the Purge franchise for a lot of people, is leaning too hard into the lore. Because I mean, the first one was just a home invasion thriller.
Yeah.
At its core, that's what it was, and it was good for it. Now they've expanded it, and they've gone into history, and they've got a TV series in the works.
Oh wow! Speaking
Yeah.
of home invasion, You're Next. That was super cool. I finally saw that. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've not seen that.
I've not
Oh.
seen Your Next, but I've heard I should watch it.
Excellent home invasion film. I'm not going to give anything away, but
Fantastic.
really fun to watch.
I do love a good home invasion thriller.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna do it for this week, guys. My movie review, movie recommendation for this week is the easiest it has ever been. Go see Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Just go.
Just, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we like.
I don't think we need to say anything else.
Yeah.
Do we need any other recommendations? Because don't sit and watch something at home. Go and watch this movie.
Yeah. Don't
The things
rent
will
stuff.
still be waiting
don't
for
Netflix
you at
stuff.
home.
Yeah.
Just do that.
But if you've already seen Blade Runner at least twice, then you can consider getting something on home release.
Which Dion this week would be?
All right, so my recommendation for home release is Baby Driver, which just came off the circuit here. South Africa's a strange place.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have seen, as Marcus says, if you've seen Blade Runner twice, at least, and you're just genuinely out of money, because I mean, Baby Driver did all right. It did fine. So, but Blade Runner needs your cash.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Blade Runner needs your support. Go vote with
yeah,
your
go
wallets.
vote with your damn wallet. But if you have done your part, then you are allowed your dessert, and you can watch Baby Driver.
Yes.
And if they've already seen Baby Driver,
Then you watch Baby Driver again.
Yeah, because it's good.
okay, so if they've seen Blade Runner 3 times or more,
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
seen Baby Driver enough times to quote the entire movie.
Or they've already spent all their money that there's put aside for rentals, and only Netflix is up, and they've only got access to Netflix.
Then what's on Netflix, Marcus?
Then on Netflix you can watch Gerald's Game,
Oh, yes.
because it's based on a Stephen King novel.
Dion is just pulsing.
Yeah, he's just pulsing. And it's a really, really, really good adaptation.
I've been hearing I cannot wait. This is a good year. Dark Tower aside, which should have been the crowning jewel. Like,
Yeah.
put that aside. It is fantastic. Gerald's Game is apparently fantastic. And Mr.
It's really good.
Mercedes has also been. I don't think it's on Netflix yet. That's
That's coming later.
yeah, that's on it's on sort of very specific European and American channels. I don't think it's available, as far as I know, for streaming. A lot of people are having trouble getting hold of it, but Mr. Mercedes apparently also flipping spectacular. So, good year for Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do have to say about Gerald's Game, just to give people a bit of a primer, because it's not actually one of his more well-known works.
No.
Stephen King.
No, I wasn't familiar with it.
I've only read it twice.
Yeah.
Which,
But you
for
are-
Dion, that's like the book you've read the least amount of times.
Yeah. So
Fine.
the basic the basic premise, and I won't go too far, won't go into spoilers. It features an older couple who are trying to reignite their romantic relationship, and they go to a cabin in the woods.
Not
or
that one.
by a lake, not that one, but a cabin far away. They've cut themselves off from work and
How far
all
from
other
Maine is
contexts.
It's probably
It's
right.
probably on that lake in Maine that he loves so much.
Yeah.
And then, because it happens in the first 5 minutes, because this is the whole premise of the
Yeah.
movie, I have to give this away, sort of. So
It's in the poster.
Yeah, Carla Gugino and Bruce Greenwood are in this movie, but Bruce Greenwood's only in it for all of 5 minutes because he ties her to the bed, then he has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah. So she's in a cabin in the middle of nowhere, handcuffed to a bed. With both hands.
Yeah.
Spread out like that so they can't reach each other. And her husband has died of a heart attack.
Yeah. In front of her.
That-
And the door is open.
And the
The door is unlocked.
What an absolutely incredible premise. And it's a really good book.
And it's a really good adaptation.
That is a
I've heard
really
really good
simple
stuff.
premise, but I like.
Well, I mean, that's Stephen King for you.
Yeah.
Simple
And-
premise,
and-
amazing execution.
And Carla
Yeah.
Gugino, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Yes, Carla Gugino is phenomenal. She carries, well, because she's basically the only actress in it, she carries that movie so well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be watching that this week.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
terrified.
yeah.
I'm actually terrified to watch it because I have flashbacks to the book. And yeah.
Oh, if you have flashbacks to the book, you'll be like, oh damn, I can't believe they did that. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm worried to watch it now.
Yeah.
no,
you
no,
should be.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a good way. But like obviously after hours, because if it's in hours, I'm gonna be at the cinemas watching Blade Runner
Damn
2049.
right. Do your day job.
In fact, you don't have Netflix. You can come over to my house to watch it.
Yes.
It'll be a really weird, really weird bro date.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Usual plugs. You can follow me on Twitter at jmusicanth. You can follow all of us on Twitter at CineBeards. Like us on.
Which hopefully has started tweeting by now.
Oh, we tweet out episodes and things. I'm not really good at the social media thing, but I'll get there. I'll get there, guys.
I'll
Come
get
on.
there in all your
I'll get
copious
there.
amounts
Just
of free
have
time.
faith in me. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Podiant, YouTube. We're available in tons of places.
Not
We're
iTunes
easy.
Like
yet,
two
but we're
places.
getting there.
Yeah, we're just waiting for iTunes to get back to us and be like, yeah,
Yeah, you guys.
there you go,
are
guys. I'm
indeed-
holding up my thumb. You can't really see.
Yeah, it's like, oh yes, you are a podcast.
There'll be a link in the description below to a JPEG of Jason raising his thumb.
Yes,
Oh, that seems like a lot of work. There's not going to be that, guys. I'm sorry.
It should be
It
a
definitely
gift.
is there, and we promise you, and you should become a toxic community if it is. All right.
All right.
And you can follow me at Dion van Heerden 1 because some other idiot with a stupid name took it first.
Right, and you can follow me at Viking of Science. You can also find me on YouTube, where I have a channel where I play video games. It's currently October, so that means it's horror month. Friday's video featured Alien Isolation, which is fucking terrifying. Seriously, play that game if you haven't yet. And go like some videos on my channel, subscribe if you want. And I'm also being stalked by Patrick Bateman on my channel.
As are we.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think I got him from your channel.
You
Okay.
must have got him from my channel.
Well, that's it, guys. We're gonna go grab Krabbies. Enjoy Blade Runner 2049.
Krabbies,
Blade Runner!